In the hidden corners of Britain's industrial age, there lived a man named Owen Braithwaite, an engineer whose obsession with motion slowly became something far greater than ambition. Long before the world learned to romanticize speed, before chrome machines became symbols of freedom and rebellion, he sat alone inside dim workshops, listening to engines breathe like living creatures in the cold. To most people, motorcycles were machines built for roads and commerce. To Owen, they were something closer to philosophy. Every vibration carried emotion. Every turn of a gear held memory. Every ignition sounded like a question directed toward time itself. Tonight, let us follow the fading trail of that forgotten engineer and the mysterious prototype machine that disappeared alongside him. Let the rain-soaked streets of industrial London fade softly into the background. Let the distant hum of forgotten engines become a lullaby for the restless mind. And as the night grows deeper, allow this unfinished story to guide you gently into stillness. Owen Braithwaite was born during an era when Britain worshipped steel, smoke, and relentless productivity. Factories stretched endlessly beneath grey skies, and the rhythm of machinery became the heartbeat of entire cities. Yet even among inventors, Owen seemed strangely detached from the race toward progress. He was never interested in mass production or commercial success. While others dreamed of speed records and newspaper headlines, he pursued something quieter and far more dangerous: perfection. His workshop sat at the edge of an aging industrial district where fog gathered heavily each evening. The building itself looked abandoned to outsiders. Rusted pipes lined the brick walls. Rainwater dripped from cracked gutters. But inside, hidden beneath hanging lamps and scattered blueprints, Owen spent countless nights refining an unnamed prototype motorcycle that very few people had ever seen. The machine became a rumor long before it became reality. Workers whispered that its engine sounded unlike anything else on Earth. Not loud or violent, but deep and strangely melodic, like a cello echoing through an empty cathedral. Some believed the motorcycle could reach impossible speeds. Others claimed it had been designed not merely for movement, but for balance, silence, and complete unity between machine and rider. Owen never corrected the stories. He simply continued working. He would often remain inside the garage until dawn, surrounded by tools and the scent of machine oil, redrawing the same mechanical curves over and over again. Outside, London drowned beneath endless rain and the distant noise of trains. Inside, there was only the sound of pencils against paper and the low breathing of unfinished engines cooling in the dark. The older he became, the more isolated he seemed. Friends stopped visiting. Investors lost patience. Manufacturers called him unrealistic. But none of it appeared to matter to him anymore. He had become completely consumed by the prototype. There are people who chase success because they fear failure. Owen was different. He chased an idea because he feared compromise. As the years passed, stories surrounding the mysterious motorcycle spread through Britain's underground engineering circles. Some claimed it possessed an aerodynamic design decades ahead of its time. Others believed Owen had discovered a revolutionary engine system capable of near-perfect efficiency. Yet no photographs ever surfaced. No official records existed. The machine remained hidden in shadows, protected by the silence of its creator. Then, one winter evening, rumors began circulating about a final test. Witnesses later recalled seeing unusual activity around Owen's workshop during the days leading up to it. Crates arrived late at night. Lamps remained lit until sunrise. Strange metallic sounds echoed into the fog. And through the dirty windows, some swore they saw the silver outline of a machine unlike anything they had seen before. On the night before the test, London was wrapped in cold rain and thick mist. According to the few accounts that remain, Owen stayed alone in the garage long after midnight. He stood beside the completed prototype for nearly an hour without touching it. Some say he looked exhausted. Others say he looked peaceful. Perhaps he already understood that once the engine awakened, nothing in his life would ever remain the same again. What happened afterward has never been fully explained. The next morning, the workshop door was found slightly open. Inside, the tools were scattered across the floor. Papers had vanished. The prototype motorcycle was gone. So was Owen Braithwaite. No body was discovered. No confirmed sightings followed. Official documents related to his work disappeared over time, as if history itself had quietly erased him. Theories emerged immediately. Some believed he rode the machine into the dense morning fog and vanished into the Thames River. Others claimed he fled Britain entirely, carrying his invention somewhere beyond the reach of industry and expectation. But perhaps the truth was simpler than anyone imagined. Perhaps Owen had merely grown tired of a world that demanded invention without silence, progress without reflection, speed without peace. Over the decades, his disappearance transformed from engineering mystery into modern legend. Collectors searched for fragments of his blueprints. Historians attempted to verify his existence. Late-night radio programs occasionally mentioned the tale of the vanished prototype hidden somewhere in the British countryside. And yet the mystery endured because it carried something deeper than curiosity. It carried longing. Not for the machine itself, but for the kind of person capable of dedicating an entire life to something invisible, uncertain, and impossibly pure. Tonight, as the noise of the modern world slowly fades around you, imagine that forgotten garage once more. Imagine the quiet ticking of cooling metal. Imagine rain touching old factory windows while a solitary engineer stands beside the machine that consumed his life. There is no audience. No applause. Only silence, oil, fog, and the low promise of motion waiting patiently in the dark. And somewhere beyond the limits of history, perhaps the engine still hums softly through the night, carrying its rider endlessly forward through the mist. Now let your thoughts grow still. Let the distant sound of rain and engines dissolve into quiet. And like Owen Braithwaite disappearing gently into the fog, allow yourself to drift slowly into deep and peaceful sleep.